All right, joining us today is a good friend of the show. This man is a man who has elite ball knowledge of the entire landscape of college football, the host of Crane and Company that airs 3 p.m. Eastern daily on YouTube. Our good buddy and a man of the people, Jake Crane. Welcome in.
What is up, boys? Yeah, I always say I only know four things, and they all start with F. So football happens to be one of them. But no, I appreciate y'all having me and enjoying y'all's content, man. Y'all doing a really good job.
Yeah, it makes total sense, Jake. And I'm going to stay in the state of Texas and just go right down the road from Waco over to Fort Worth. And I am going to buy in on TCU. It's over 6.5. I would be comfortable buying it up to 7 as well with this team because at 7, you still at least get a push out of it. But I mean, man, Josh Hoover last year, he's the second leading returning passer in the country as far as yardage wise, behind Garrett Nussmeier. The Frogs last year were a very quiet 9-win team. They finished the season 6-1 down the stretch last year. I like what they brought in the transfer portal, some proven production at wide receiver. They're bringing back Eric McAllister, which he was 10th in the nation last year at 19.5 yards a grab. And he led the nation with 90% of his catches last year. The dude was moving the chains. 90% of his catches last year were for first downs. But for whatever reason last year, Kendall Briles' offense there at TCU, they couldn't run the rock. They went out and added former Conference USA Freshman of the Year, Kavorian Barnes from UTSA, and they bring back a couple other guys as well from their roster. But what I like about this bunch, man, is DC, Andy Avalos was his first year's defensive coordinator last year at TCU. He was, again, like some of those first-year DCs last year that were taking over absolute dumpster fire situations, and
Yeah.
they improved their defense immediately, like D'Anton Lynn at USC and Blake Baker at LSU, Andy Avalos at TCU. Well, I know didn't get the publicity that some of those other guys did, but they went from ranked 111th in the country to 12th in explosive pass plays given up last year. They were top 25 in yards per play, so they were much improved on that defensive side of the ball. They bring back some solid pieces there. From everything I heard out of Big 12 media days and stuff, they really like their defensive front. I know that we're in the off-season propaganda season. You know, everybody's
Yeah.
excited about their team. But again, I think they're going to be solid up front. They've got one of the best safeties and DBs in the Big 12, and Bud Clark, who's first team All Big 12. So when I go through the schedule here, I mean, again, right out of the gate, I don't know what TCU has done to garner the. They were Coach Prime's first game at
Yeah.
Colorado, and then
Yeah.
now they're Bill Belichick's first game when they play North Carolina in Chapel Thrill. But I still think TCU can win that one, but obviously, man, I don't know what. I mean, your guess is as good as mine on what we to expect with this North Carolina bunch. But
Mhm.
overall, with this team, I like the fact that they get Baylor at home, they get Iowa State at home, they get Cincinnati at home. They've got some tough road games, obviously, at Kansas State and at Arizona State. I like the fact they get SMU and the Iron Skillet at home as well. I think this is I personally got them going 8-4 right now. So if you take the over 6.5, you've got a little bit of room to work with there. Again, if you buy it up to 7, there's a push there. So I like over 6.5
Yeah.
or buy it up to 7 with the Frogs.
Tyler, I swear I'm not playing favorites, but I had this one circled too. Look, if you're gonna get Bill Belichick, it's probably best to get him in year one. Again, it's gonna come down to how his girlfriend feels the day before, anyway. So who knows? You
Yep.
get Abilene Christian at home, which is a win. You get SMU, which is going to be tough, but it is at home, which makes me feel better about it than who we were talking about before with Baylor. That's got to play them on the road. Look, you brought up the two road games that really scare you, and that's at Arizona State and that's at K State. So even if you chalk those up to a loss, you get Baylor at home, you get Colorado at home, you got two other road games or three other ones, but I think they're the road games you want this year at
Yep.
West Virginia, at BYU. Now, what happens with Retzlaff, and then at Houston, even though I think that game's going to be more dangerous than what people are thinking right now. Then you get Cincinnati home and Iowa State at home. I think this is one of the best bets in the Big 12. And remember, um, you look at TCU, and when you hear Sonny talk about it, he's pissed off that they've been out of the mix, right? And you feel like this is a year where they want to get back into relevancy. You can do that with a big win over North Carolina on the road in year one under Bill Belichick. I don't think you'd be crazy to buy this one up to 7.5. I really don't. I think eight
All
and
right.
four is very doable. I don't think if you're doing that, you're betting on TCU to beat North Carolina. Because if TCU beats North Carolina, I could see 9 wins on this schedule.